All right, next, best investment. Let me start first. I'll start with Danny Meyer's investment into chip cookies. Danny Meyer's and group invested $10 million in chip cookies. I know Phil, who is the founder of chip cookies. They were one of our clients. They're no longer our clients. Amazing cookies. I grew up in Astoria, and I love those cookies. Insomnia chip cookies is what you graduate to if you ate insomnia cookies, right? It's like more gourmet. It's just better. It's thick. You guys any other fans of chip cookies? Just me.
Big fan. The brookie,
big
their
fan.
brookie is the best.
I like my classic cookies. That's it. Just chocolate chip cookies with milk. I'll order some oat milk for my partner, and we'll just have milk and cookies. Adulting, right? 2022. So that's my best investment for the year. Let's do Hadi.
Chipotle setting aside they set aside a $50 million fund for seed to Series B startups that are focusing on like either sustainable farming or like more food tech, right? So they started implementing Misa robotics, a new scheduling system, right? So I think they're onto something there. My cat is on to me. Sorry. So they're really onto something there. They're investing in food tech, and I think that's the best thing anybody can do, right? What other restaurants can take away from that is you definitely don't have $50 million to spend, right? But I'm sure Sweet Green had a fund that they put towards technology. Chipotle is outsourcing it by way of investment. So whatever your budget is, right, whether you're a Potbelly or somebody, you have some money. It might be $50,000, might be $20,000, might be $10,000, whatever that is. You should set it aside and invest it in food tech companies, either buy their services or invest in them, right?
Great pick. Gabby?
Yeah, so for me, it was really just something recent. So I'm always following, obviously, if you've listened to this podcast, I'm always following acquisitions. So the recent one was about 2 weeks ago. Getter, is it pronounced Getter? Getter? Getter?
Get here.
Oh, okay. Getter acquiring Gorillas. I think that was a great investment. Because if you think about like the major players in the space, I think that they just did a really good job of targeting and thinking about how could they consolidate the space to avoid competition. So I think that was a really, really good investment.
Do you use them, by the way, like Getty or Gorillas or any of these?
I use Getter.
You use Getter?
I've used it, yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What about
Gorillas.
You guys ever use it?
Gorillas is the best. I use Gorillas tonight. It's like when they say faster than you, they really do mean faster than you. So those are really good.
Really? So you guys use it? I thought I never used
Get Ear, but Gorillas. Yeah, the Gorillas is right here. You order it, and immediately it says they're on their way. They are within 5 minutes.
I feel like
within 5 minutes.
Hadi, I feel like you use Joker, right? Because you're a clown.
I don't use either one. I'm always fascinated.
I don't use either one. I think Hadi. I think us brown people, we just like if Costco, like seriously, I think this is where you're seeing, the income disparity.
I also shop at Costco.
Yeah, it's that cabinet.
When you need paper towels and I got oat milk too, in a pinch. And apple juice. I was drinking it earlier. Gorillas. You're throwing a party?
Why do you need Why do you need apple juice?
And you need the mixers and stuff like that. The mixers. Cranberry juice for the thing, for the jingle juice.
This is your blue collar pitch.
Hey, Nabil, he needs apple juice in a pinch sometimes. Okay, just leave the man alone.
Great.
If Costco has data team who looks at people and their usage and they put them in the bucket, you're a 7-year-old boy. A bucket is where they put you in. With you and
Gorilla.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Last one. Andrew, take us away.
Yeah. So I put RBI. I mean, this big acquisition happened this year. They acquired Firehouse Subs. Gave them a foothold in the partner of ours, restaurant partner of ours. Gave them a foothold in the in the sandwich space, really competing with Subway. Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at that portfolio, Tim Hortons, Burger King, Popeyes, Firehouse Subs, it's a really solid crew there. So, yeah, I put that as one of the best investments this year.
I think that's great. I think that's great. Do you guys remember the video we made for Firehouse Subs when we were trying to sign them years ago?
And we donated.
What do you remember?
We bought a whole bunch of sandwiches for a whole firehouse. I mean, that was fun to do just in general, but yeah.
Yeah. Firefighters are so likable. Does anyone dislike firefighters? No.
All they do is run into fires and try to save people's lives. That's it. That's their whole job.
Everyone unanimously agrees firefighters are great.
Yep.
All right. Worst investment 2022. Hadi, you start.
I'm gonna have to. I don't mean to like bash on Grubhub, but I think this is not so much about Grubhub as it is about Just Eat. It was a bad investment on their part, right? They could have looked at somebody else in this space. Like they could have went with the Postmates. You know, they could have acquired a fleet and technology. Maybe try to acquire the last mile. They could have went after DoorDash, although I doubt DoorDash would want to be acquired. But I think for them to like pick someone like Grubhub that was didn't have as much market share, I'd love to see the marketing plan in that deck when they bought it. I mean, I just don't think it was a good bet on their part, and that's why one of their active investors wanted to offload the investment. So I'd say that's a pretty big loss, for Just Eats.
Okay, all right. Andrew and I have the same answer. I see. Olo's acquisition of Omnivore.
I think Gabby too.
Gabby, you too? Oh, all three of us. Wow, look at us united as a team, and Hadi the black sheep. So we all think Olo's acquisition of Omnivore was not great. Why don't you guys tell us why first? Or why don't you guys take it off?
Yeah, well, I think one for a lot of folks, I mean, maybe it was good for them, but I know a lot of folks in the industry use Omnivore, their pipes to go and integrate into POSs, but I feel like it's kind of like, they are acquiring a technology with POSs that necessarily haven't really grown much, in terms of integrations, the number of integrations. They had like 6 or 7 over the course of the lifetime duration of Omnivore. It's really interesting. It kind of makes the Bbot or whoever else, I don't know, whoever's using Omnivore. I don't know who's using Omnivore actually, but nowadays, but whoever was using Omnivore kind of got screwed over, and maybe it was good call on Olo's part to kind of corner in that way. But I think in some ways, Omnivore Olo acquisition I feel like it didn't add much value to Olo other than just trying to sweep the market out, right?
I think that's it. I think that's my problem. It didn't add any value to Olo, except no one else can have it. No one else can have it. No one else should compete with us. We don't need it, but no one else should compete with us, so we're going to acquire them. So that was my problem. Just to articulate at the end of what Andrew said. Gabby?
Yeah, I guess I think that they did really well. Maybe a few years ago when they acquired Wisely, I forget when it was, maybe 2021. I think that was an interesting acquisition because they were thinking more about, okay, how can we expand our loyalty? And so they have a very interesting approach. But I wouldn't say that they're.
It's either that or how can we alienate most of our partners that brought us a lot of the money when we were building out to be a public company. It could be either one of those, probably the latter. So nothing is as it seems with Olo. That's my problem with it, which is that when people look up to them in this industry, and when they misreported how many Subway restaurants were leaving and why they were leaving, right? And then they acquired Wisely only to alienate Punch and Paytronics and a bunch of other partners that helped them build their moat of integrations. And then no, we're actually going to do Wisely. Thanks for nothing. And now with this Omnivore thing, you guys are right. They get absolutely nothing. But in their S1, when they went public, they listed Onisys as one of the major threats. So why did they buy Onisys? And this is between 8 months. They went public. A year later, they bought Omnivore. Did Onisys degrade that much since a year? So it's nothing is as it seems. So whatever was on the S1 was obviously bullshit. They knew Omnivore was the better one, but they don't want to list it in the competitors. So I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff they're probably not saying now, like how the Wisely integration is going or not going.
Yeah, man, this is our pick. This is not your pick. Gabby, Andrew, and I picked this.
Not your pick.